You will never surpass my sister Margaret. Eleanor's voice was cold, dripping with contempt. She thought she controlled everything. What she didn't know was that I already had all the evidence. Proof that she had tampered with my resume, trying to make my sister replace me in the position I had fought so hard to earn. A few days later she was in the Bradford Capital office, pale and trembling. Her voice choked as she begged for my forgiveness. Her disgrace and remorse were far more powerful than any accusation could ever be. I'm Margaret Wilson, 35. A single mother. Stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, gazing at the Philadelphia skyline. Calm. Steady. 10 years of effort. Countless late nights. Classes. And overtime weren't meant to be taken from me by deceit. I handed her the folder in my hand. Sit down, I said evenly. We need to talk. That morning sunlight poured over the streets of Philadelphia. As I prepared to leave for Bradford Capital's headquarters, my daughter Samantha peeked from behind me in her pajamas. Mom, today's your final interview, right? I smiled, smoothing her hair. Sweetheart, it's just a formality. I already got the offer. I just need to sign the last documents and visit the office. She hugged me tightly. Congratulations, Mom. I knew you'd do amazing. For 10 years as a single mother, I had built my career piece by piece, balancing childcare, night school, and endless hours at work. From small firms to the world of top-tier investment banking, every drop of sweat had become part of my strength. Looking at Samantha, warmth filled my heart. She was the reason I never gave up. But every time my mother Eleanor or my sister Vanessa came to mind, something in me tightened. Since Vanessa's birth, Eleanor had favored her openly. Vanessa, pampered and untested, had never truly worked a day in her life. They had never acknowledged my worth, nor offered Samantha genuine affection. When I arrived at Bradford Capital, I took a deep breath. I reminded myself, I earned this. Not through connections, but through ability. The interview went perfectly. That afternoon I received a call from HR. James Collins. Ms. Wilson, he said carefully. Your mother informed us that you've decided to decline the position. I froze. Decline? I never declined anything. There must be a mistake. He hesitated. We received an email from Mrs. Eleanor Wilson, explaining that due to family obligations, you're unable to take the job. I gripped the phone so tightly my knuckles whitened. How dare she? That night I drove straight to Eleanor's house. Samantha asleep in the back seat. Vanessa opened the door with feigned surprise. Margaret, it's so late. What's going on? I cut her off. Mother, I need an explanation. Why did you reject the offer in my name? In the living room, Eleanor lifted her teacup with graceful disdain. Oh, that. I was just giving Vanessa a chance, she said smoothly. You're a single mother, darling. Such a demanding job would be too much for you. I stood speechless, shock giving way to burning rage. Vanessa sneered. You're better off raising your kid, Margaret. This world isn't for you. I took a slow breath, forcing back tears. Enough, I said coldly. You didn't just steal my opportunity. You tried to ruin my life and my daughter's future. I walked to the table and spread the documents before them. See these. My transcripts. My performance reports. Every one of them. My name replaced with Vanessa's. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Eleanor's face drained of color. Her fingers trembled around her teacup. Vanessa's lips quivered, fear flickering in her eyes for the first time. The next morning I contacted Bradford Capital. CEO Robert Blackwell personally summoned all three of us to a meeting. The air in the conference room was heavy with tension. Blackwell looked directly at Eleanor and Vanessa. You forged documents. You presented Vanessa under Margaret's credentials. This isn't just unethical. It's potentially criminal. Eleanor stammered. I only wanted to give Vanessa a chance. Vanessa lowered her head. I couldn't handle it. I failed today's client presentation. The evidence was irrefutable. Emails. Altered files. Meeting logs. Every detail exposed their scheme. The anger in my chest finally settled into cold, quiet strength. Blackwell turned to me. Ms. Wilson. Your competence speaks for itself. The company stands by you. And we will not tolerate this behavior. I nodded calmly. Thank you. Bradford Capital reinstated my offer. With higher pay, flexible hours, and childcare support. Eleanor and Vanessa sat frozen, pale and humiliated. When I got home, Samantha ran into my arms. No matter what anyone says, I whispered, we have each other. And that's enough. She smiled proudly. I'm proud of you, Mom. That night, for the first time in years, I felt peace. Family wasn't about blood. It was about respect and support. Those who tried to hurt me no longer had power over us. In the weeks that followed, I threw myself into work. Managing teams. Reviewing proposals. Leading meetings with precision and calm. Vanessa's mistakes resurfaced repeatedly. Her incompetence laid bare before everyone. Eleanor too began receiving warning emails from the company's board. Each time she tried to interfere, facts and documents crushed her attempts. Quietly, I compiled reports of Vanessa's repeated errors and sent them to HR and department heads. During one meeting she tried to defend herself, but I simply laid out the truth. Every word sharp and precise, leaving her nowhere to hide. Eleanor sat nearby, pale and trembling, trying to speak, but silenced by Blackwell's stern look. Her eyes were full of regret and fear. In the end, Vanessa admitted her incompetence publicly and issued a formal apology. Eleanor bowed her head, forced to face the betrayal she had tried to justify. At that moment, I felt a release unlike any other. Years of neglect, humiliation, and stolen recognition, finally vindicated. As night fell over Philadelphia, I sat by the window with Samantha, the city lights flickering below. After all these years, I had finally reclaimed what was mine. Not just success, but dignity and peace.